Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Mizzle. You watching my channel Mizzle 14 and that back doing the review of Iyanla Fix My Life, Season 7, Episode 8, When Dirty Laundry Goes Viral. This was another 2-hour episode, which I am here for. And it's another relatable story that a lot of people could relate to and look at. And it's very common and it's something that most people could bye. That's what I like what she Iyanla do. She does things. She brings stories of normal people, and sometimes celebrities. But I'm usually gravitate more to the normal people of different scenarios that people might go through, and you don't talk about it. But these brave people go in national television and tell their story, and it also inspires others to help, to heal, to look at your own self. So this thing was a 2-hour episode, but it will be more because how they end it, baby, we will see more. And I guess it's gonna take a break because usually next week is like so a lot of the shows take a little mini break and they come back for next year for new episodes. So probably a break next week and then come back probably after the New Year's. All right, so Iyanla decided to get a help from a guy that her good colleague, a good friend, Steve Perry. He's there. He's a relationship coach and stuff like that. He knows a lot of things about men, counseling and stuff like that, and he could help Marc and Jordan with the things and help them prepare because it's best to have a man perspective and a man counselor or therapist to help facilitate some of the things that Iyanla can't equip to do. Is like, oh, she probably could be equipped to do. It is just always extra help to see a different odds viewpoint. It is another set of eyes to help facilitate things. And what's better to help men issues and by having a fellow person, a man, to help them go through this process. So we get a family all airing the dirty laundry. We have Marc, who's the father. We have Jamil, who's the wife, and Marc's the husband. We have Dorothy is Marc's mother, but we don't even get to see Dorothy until the end of the thing, and then we'll see more of her when it come back. All right, because there was a lot of stuff happening. It was a lot of stuff happening. She couldn't get to Dorothy, but we will get to Dorothy. So after that, we have the kids. We have Shanae and Janae. They are twins. Shanae is the oldest by a couple seconds. See, never gonna let that go. Shanae and Janae. And then you have Ashley, who's next after those two. And then they also got another son, but he wasn't in there at the process. And they have Jaden, who's I guess the youngest daughter. And they have Jordan, who is the youngest of them all. And he's the youngest son, the second son, because I guess he had two boys. And that's that. Say all the air and dirty laundry. They will say better communication between the family members, keep the beef, squash the beefs, talk to one another, express their feelings, get things out, listen to one another. It's a lot. It was like relate with the family more, to have a better understanding, to have a common ground. Most of the stuff is division. The family is divided, and it's not. So it was a viral video that came out that Marc, he came and said, yo, he did the video, he said, yo, I'm the man and I'm supposed to provide and everything, and no woman, no person has a household, got to worry about the bills, the mortgage, the food, you know, to worry about it because I'm the provider and this and that. And guess he liked it because it went viral, that video, and he was getting a lot of praises and likes. But you don't understand that by doing that, it was also negative backlash. Because it would say, okay, if he's a provider and everything, it made it seem like the wife ain't doing much. And she just sitting there reaping the benefits and all like that. And not know what she do. And he's this, so she ain't doing nothing. Basically, and she said, no, I'm an assistant principal right now. I'm doing a lot of things. And it's just not on him. So him putting out the video makes it seem like he's big himself up by being a provider and provider of the household. It's like all hunky-dory. And then a lot of people feel that way. If the man providing everything, that's all good in the household. And it's not always that good. Because what you providing and what you is portraying in that, all the man can do is provide and protect and provide for the family. And if he only doing that, then that's all it needs to be. But you fail to realize that only doing what you do and not catering to what you are as a person or individual could have a negative ripple effect to the family. So only providing and protecting is not enough to have a stable household. You gotta put the time. You gotta show honesty. You gotta be communicative. You gotta show vulnerability. You gotta be transparent. You gotta do a lot of things. It was some of the words that was on accountability, being relatable, self-control. That was a lot of steps. Cause Iyanla had this like stepping stone to be the king. He presented himself to be the king, and he's saying that, oh, I provide. I'm the king of this household, but this household is so shambles. So and Iyanla said something that was really good, and he said you only focus on what you do and not who you are. Because if you was doing all this and only your provider is that sense of purpose, then why is your household a shambles? Why your household is a chaotic? Why do your kids not respect each other? Why do the kids have give you a hard time? Why it's a lot. So he got to get that understanding and then he realized that he don't practice a lot of the steps, a lot of the self control, relatability, honest, communicating, integrity, a lot of the stuff that was on the stool steps to be the king. He realized he's lacking. And he told us that he didn't have a father figure himself when he was growing up. So he felt like not absent father, which a lot of us have, because I'm a product of not having a father raising me. I was raised by a single mother. Not having that single father is sometimes it does put a hole in your heart, and it's like, okay, who do I model after? Who is there to teach me how to be a man? Yes, my mom did a good job to raise me to be a good, respectable, responsible little man. But sometimes you want to have that father to teach you the right and wrongs that the mother can't do all the time. And now he puts his vision of what a man supposed to be, and he had no model, so he put on himself that being a man is protecting. Because he said when he had no father in the household, he felt like he had to step up and be the man and be the protector and the provider of the family. So that's what he did. When he got his own, he gonna be that. He gonna be a provider, someone that always work and provide for the food. Yes, that's good day and dandy. That's good hunky dory. That's good in some aspects. That we don't have to worry about food. We don't have to worry about shelter. We don't have to worry about clothes. But yeah, that's the basic necessities that we need. But it's more to that to build a successful relationship with a family, a successful family bonding and dynamics. It takes more than that. Because all you focus on providing, you are ignoring everything else. And it always comes as a transactional relationships and transactional family dynamic. Stuff that is, I provide the money, just what I expect you to do. I provide the money, I want this to be this way. And so will you be like kind of controlling in some aspect. It's like kind of controlling. And I don't care what nobody say. When someone doing all the money providing and putting up all the bills in the household, they feel entitled that you have to listen to them. They feel that they doing all this, that it needs to be done their way. They have a high expectation because they providing the foot in the bill. It's like they might not be damaging, demon controlled, but at the same time, it is a self kind of control if you provide a lot of money in the household. And then when people who don't fall in line and what you think, you still building that rage. So he is focused on that so much. After she talked to Marc, she went to Jamil, the wife, because she said a good king in the household always has a good queen by his side to counsel. So does you have a queen by your side to counsel? He said he loves his wife and all that stuff, but if she's counseling you, not me counseling like as a counselor, but if she's counseling you, because a good standing man always have a good standing woman by their side. So how's the relationship is? So when she talked to Jamil, it was more of, before she said that, it's like, who are you presenting in the family, in the household? Who are you showing up in the household? Are you showing the nice guy? Because we can see a little bit you have a nice guy. Are you showing the thug? Or are you showing the little hurt little boy that is trying to project himself and lashing out and projecting this energy of protecting, providing, and showing yourself this the man supposed to be. I'm the man, and you like who are you? Who are you pleasing? Are you trying to please yourself, or are you trying to please others that you are doing something? So who are you presenting up? Because you showing her the thug, but now you're not showing her the nice guy, the person she met you with. So when Iyanla asks Jamil, who's one of these people showing up, she says she sees all three, but he's showing up the thug more than everything else. So that's a problem. And she said, "Did you have a nice love story?" She said, "No, we didn't even have a lovely love story." And her story is like most stories that you see around. Basically, a woman and a man who liked each other, who went out a couple of dates. They started having a lot of sex. The wife get pregnant, Jamil, or the girlfriend get pregnant. They talk about the pregnancy. Abortion was not an option. So I guess in their mind, the only option is to get married. They got married. She wasn't really in love with him at the time. It was only the matter of convenience because they got pregnant and they feel like the only option available to them, instead of being co-parenting, they said let's be married. They got married, and she grew into loving him in the marriage. And I was like, okay, so what lifestyle are you put? What it is? How is your family functioning? Is it functioning a love relationship, or she said it's a transactional relationship in the family? And when she mentioned that, it was like more so, if I provide this, you do for me, I do for you. If you don't do what I say, there is going to be issues. Then I get angry. Then I get volatile. Right? And I become this beast that you don't want to see. So keep it controlled. It's transactional. It's a give or take. And that's not the way the relationship goes. And in some way, she remembered that how she kind of checked out in the relationship when, and also it was a part that she said she lost her trust. So what happened? Where the trust come out? And she said that he put his hands on her 12 years ago. And you still holding on to that? Because part of her feel like she dishonored herself by staying and being with him. Or because it was money. Just like similar to Lisa Ray's storyline with her mom. She did all the sacrifices and stuff like that for money. And get mad when Lisa don't acknowledge that. So it's the same thing. She doing this for money. And she has been abused. Abused woman. She been very emotionally abused. And she feels that she dishonored herself by staying. She left. She just lost control. And give her some control. It's like he got this reign on her to not let her be. To not have a voice. And not speak up. So she just flowing through the relationship. Just flowing through and sailing by. Don't have a voice. They're not on the same page. Marc and Jamil. And at this time, Iyanla had Marc sit down with Dr. Perry and have him listen to things, because Perry was trying to tell him that you focus so much on what you projecting a man to be, you are filling the void of the man that you missed out of, the boy who didn't have the role model that he missed out of. And it's like you is filling that void in yourself and trying to tell your boy you are doing something right and this is it, but not knowing that is distorted in a way that you're not focusing, you're not grasping the whole bigger picture. And So he asked him to active listening because when he see things, he tends to react in rage and quick to respond. And he said, your part of active listening is to sit back, relax, watch his things, listen, process, and then see what they saying. Because 9 out of 10 times, you will realize it's not really mostly about you. Alright? And it's not always, he think it's always about him and it's always attacked to him, so he started doing attacking. So, when they talk about the transaction relationship, because she said that she feel like she's in a transaction relationship. She has no feelings and no heart to give. And she haven't given her heart. She likes the man. She loves him, but she haven't given her heart. Her heart shut down. So, if you in your relationship with this man, and you staying with this man for this long ass time, and you have never given your heart to him, and it's all transactional, it's all like business, it's all like money. It's word puts to that. You sleep with a man, giving him all this time, giving this energy, and you don't have your heart, no feelings to it. And Iyanla said, that's hoeing. So, are you been hoeing for your husband? Or you are a person who has a hurt heart, a broken heart, who feels, who wants to be part of the journey with the husband? Which you got to decide which one going to be, because right now she don't even know if she's doing that. She feels herself more of hoeing than having a feeling of being a wife who has been broken by her husband. I said, oh, that's dangerous. So Iyanla asks her, do you feel that you can heal your marriage? She said yes. But do you desire that? She don't know. So that's her work. Do she decide to keep continuing on with this relationship with him to the point that she can walk away? Or she want to continue with him, but work on that and continue to heal from that? That's what she needs to work on and see if she get reflection and the clarity of her direction in this marriage. Okay? So she finished with the wife, she brought in the daughters, Shanae and Janae, Ashley and Jaden. So basically, Shanae and Janae, the twins, they sat there, and Shanae said she was okay until we in the ride with Ashley the other day. We was going good, and then Ashley kept poking, and we got tired of that. So I said I might want to hit her, and I told her shut up. And I said, woo, all that stuff. And I said so much that she could keep saying to me, and I was just sitting there, I ain't doing nothing. And Janae got in there, she was just as riled up. So Ashley came in, and then Jaden came in, and they're sitting down, and they said, what's going on? Okay, y'all was like, this is two hot and heavy twins right here. It's ready to go off. And she sat there, and because Ashley lives in Ohio, I think they in Jersey somewhere, that's all that stuff. So she said, as we don't even have to sit down most of the time. So when all said and done, the distance between each other, we don't have communication, we don't have a connection. So she's in this way, we in this way, and that's it. When we do get together, we don't really speak like that, and they all stuff. And when it's doing, it's violent, it's hostile. So this time Dr. Perry had Marc to listen to things and watch the video of the family, and have him seeing what he have done to cause this turmoil in his family. Okay? Because he said his family is broken. He said that he wanted to mend things, his whole differences and stuff like that. But he had to realize part of their issues is what you portraying and showing in the family. And they're picking up on that. And that's why he was so focused on the providing. He didn't realize he was lacking a lot of tools and lacking stuff, and passes down on the negative traits to their children, to his children. And he did mention it's a blended family. He said he had 4 children when he met Jamel. It's the twins, the oldest son, and I think Ashley. And then when he got with Jamel, then he had Jaden and Jordan, youngest son. I'm gonna get to him in a minute. And then he come to blended family. So when Ashley came in here, it was already there. She said, "Oh, nothing. I just pop off. I just pop off." She said, "Oh, we ain't gonna do that." Just explain what happened. I'm in a car, and it's like they want fame. They just want to be famous, all that stuff. And she's like, "Nah, because you was coming after me and all that stuff." They twins was like, "Yeah, you was coming after her and all that stuff like that. And you were going on all that stuff." And then Ashley said they want people to listen to them, but they don't want to listen to her. And she said, "Oh, so I think Shanae said, well, you don't have nothing for worth for us to listen to." I said, "Oh, girl, that's not right. That's not right. You can't expect me to listen to you, but you don't want me. You don't want to listen to me. Like, come on, that's messed up." So they got it heated. Ashley got up. She said, "You know you can't beat me, right? You know you can't beat me, right?" And this and they were going back and forth, and they were calling a crackhead, dirty hoe, and all that stuff. I said, "Wow, y'all sisters, like, wow." So they took Ashley away. Iyanla took Ashley outside and said, "What's going on?" It was her. She said, "I'm hurt. I'm angry. I'm hurt and everything. I want my daddy. I need my daddy and everything." And it's like he raised us, and they ain't coming in the picture till they 14 years old and everything. And he raised us, but he's more closer to them than he was with me, and I need him on stuff. And I was saying, "Oh yeah, daddy was not around, being a time. He had to spend his time for his daughters. That they need him to be. He's always wanting to working and providing, but come on now." So she came back. No, before they came back, she had Jaden go outside to Ashley, and the twins was talking, and they realized that they just like their father. He passed on this on to things to us. He invades. He talked down to you. He put things in. Um, they saying that he throw things in their face, not like objects, like what he does for them. What he do things so that, "Oh, you ungrateful. I did this. You done that." And that's damaging to do to a child. To always remind them that you did something for them, so they should be grateful. This is that. I said, "You the parent." So to always throw in their face that grandma does the same thing, Marc's mother, throwing in their face, saying this, saying that, and it's like whatever. And they also mostly hurt, and that the person who they really angry about is the mother, who was not there. So he had to say, "Listen, sit right there, make project her right there, and I give you free reign to say whatever you want." Janae went off. She said, "You supposed to be in everything. You did this to us, so we ain't asked to be here." And basically, what she was saying a lot of that stuff was saying that the mom, her mom, Janae and Shanae mom, was nothing. She was a piece of work. She took her anger out the girls. I guess I can imagine she badmouthed the girls. She didn't do right for the girls. It's like belittle them, blame them. I guess whatever issues that the mom had with Mark was not good enough. It was not good. So she took her angry out of them. She was upset. So you said we didn't actually be here and everything. You all this stuff crazy on this stuff. Like, would you want us? You should have took us with the daddy a long time ago. If you go act like this towards us. And I said, I can imagine going to a household when the mother is bitter and angry at the father. I don't know the contents, but it seemed like that's what it was. And she took it out on her kids. And so they got the brunt of it. It's like, wow. So you blaming us? So no matter why they're so hurt and angry. So they actually came back and it said, apologize, can we apologize, can you forgive me? And say, yes, I accepted all stuff. But she said, look how y'all portraying, look at y'all demonstrating. It's like this is the young girl who following y'all footsteps. You gotta keep an eye on her, cause somebody could violate her, somebody could abuse her and everything, and the body change, shift. And you gotta say, hold on, what happened here? What the happened here that I just saw right now? Cause they did shift it in their body language that make us caught on that something when she said abuse and violated, they was like, so something did happen. And Jaden mentioned, and then Mark was listening. Jaden mentioned that she has been molested and sexual assaulted by someone she was young, and when she was 7 or 8 years old. She didn't tell the mom, and she didn't tell the dad. And Mark was livid. He said, "What? What?" He was pissed that they didn't tell. She didn't tell, and it come to realize all the daughters had been sexually violated, and the father didn't know. Cause you know what? They was not comfortable enough to go to him because they afraid of him and his how he reacts, his anger. Jada was more concerned that he going to jail or not. But are you concerned about that, or are you concerned that you can't go to your father when something like this situation happen? That's why sometimes how you portray yourself to your children and how you come off could be a rubric or meter to let you know if they could be comfortable enough to come to you when they have any issue. No matter how big or small it is. If they can't come to you with something serious like that, that means something you doing, Mark, is giving them the impression that they can approach you when they have an issue. And that hurt him a lot because he realized he did not have that energy, or he was given that energy that didn't make his daughters comfortable to talk to him about that. And he said, he said, no, you missing the point. Is that they are afraid of you. And since they're afraid of you, they can't come to you as their daddy. Okay? And that's hurt. If your kids can't come to you with whatever issues, then that means you are portraying something that make them unsafe to come to you. And that's what he needs to learn. So after all said and done with that, Jordan came around, and Jordan said, listen, Iyanla asked the daughters to write a letter to the daddy. And they all had to sit down and write letters to the daddy and everything. That's that. Then Jordan came around, and we found out that Jordan and Marc fight each other like they freaking man to man on the streets, like two enemies of the streets. They just fight. And it's sad to see that happening, to the point that Jordan said he don't care. And Mr. Perry tried to tell Marc said that the worst thing for someone to have is worst thing to hate is to be ambivalent. Means you don't even care enough about the person who your parent is, who you're supposed to look up to. They could die day tomorrow. You won't even care. You won't even hate enough to be upset, angry that you didn't work on the relationship, but you won't even love enough, even cry if anything. So you just there stuck and say, okay, whatever happens. And that's the worst stage to be at. And he just said he just don't have no respect for his father. Like he just lost this trust or stopped caring about his father because it's all about money. He just don't money, no time spent. He put his hands on me, and he the first time he stopped caring about his father when in 6th grade when he came at him with something he didn't do, and the sister trying to defend him. He pushed him on whatever, putting him up and said, I would kill you. He believed that. Then 9th grade, they come up to him. They grabbed him up, whatever. It was a hostile environment between those two. And Mr. Perry had to talk to him. And he talked to him for a while and everything. He tried to get him to understand. He said, did you coach? He said, what is? What's the big thing? He said, he's rude. And then he said, if he's rude, what you do? You bench him. And then what you try and do? You say, you get them to understand what their behavior and change it. So doing all that stuff and make it realize it's like, okay, if it's coachable, if you say you're a coach, you could be taught too. So we got to do something different. And he don't want to model his father because Iyanla said, who you want to model is? Model. Who tell you to be a man? He said, nobody teach me how to be a man. I mean myself. I'm making my own version of who a man is. And that's interesting. So you don't want to model the father who is in your household? He said, no, I don't want to be being like him. He's a bad father. So Marc, who didn't have a father in his life, taught himself who the man supposed to be. Now he has a son who look up to him, and now he's present, but he's not present. He's physically present, but he's not present in his son's life. So now the son don't want to model after his father because they have a bad relationship. They don't get along. He's not showing that he's good enough. So I guess Jordan decided he could talk to his father later on and have a better understanding. And I guess Marc sat down and he said, listen, there's a lot going on. I don't want you to think I'm upset with you. And they make an agreement that he will work on spending bonding time with his son. And understanding that he needs to do differently. and do better. Hold himself accountable of his mistakes. Hold himself accountable but not being there for his son. Spend more attention to him. Okay? So that was that. I know it's getting long, but it was a lot going on, so I had to give you everything, y'all. So, and there's gonna be a break or two and come back again. So Jamil and Marc talk, and it comes to the realization that Jamil said, "Let me see. I want to get this raw. Get this done." He said she stayed for the money. I mentioned that, and she been abused woman by him. She was a verbal, emotional abuse by him. She lost herself, and she been in pain. And he took her pain for granted. He took her heart for granted, thinking everything was on him. Like he did this. Since he provided the money, she should be grateful. She should be happy that I'm doing this. Okay. And she said she feel like if she stayed in a relationship, she would die. Now, not literally, but die herself. Her personal worth is slowly dying. She be this vessel who's there and don't have no life in her being. So he said, if it continues, you gotta let me go. Now it wasn't to the point that she said she needs divorce. She said let her go means that you gotta tighten the rein on her and let her be the woman that she could be. Let her be the woman that could be a queen to his kingdom. Okay? And build a balance. Be a partnership. Now he thought it was automatic divorce, so he took a thing, he texted her and said, "Oh, we decided not to talk about it. But you made an agreement that you don't want to be honest." And since you didn't want to be honest, you lack of integrity in that point. So you work and you help you be helpful with us. You work in the process with us, but then you don't want to be honest in this process. That's not helping. You take a step backwards. So she said, listen, we got to sit down. He misheard it and everything. He understands what's going on. She said, listen, what we got to do. We need to be honest with his feelings. We need to have couples counseling and individual therapy. We need to create a plan so they can build a household together and work on how they raise the household. They need to build a friendship between each other. She needs to move out the bedroom to create her own space to have an individuality in the household so y'all can cohabitate in the household and raising the children. And stop raising the voice. And he said he could do all that. He could do all that. Now, at all said and done, at the end, like they all said their piece to the father with the letters, and it was nice and everything. The father gave his individual letters to each one of the daughters and said he gonna work on himself, he gonna do better, he gonna show him as a better parent and work on being a father. And he know what he lacked. He know he was so focused on money, he didn't realize he was not giving attention, the love, the affection, those stuff that they need as a father. So Jaden said, listen, I need to say something before we go. And it just being in my mind, I want to talk to my grandma. Can you have time to talk to us? She said, yeah, okay. So Miss Dorothy came. They didn't even have time to see Dorothy because so much was going on. So Jaden asked, I said, Grandma, I don't want to know, why did you feel like you never liked me? Why do you talk badly about me in front of my mom? And why you never cared for me? Why you talk about me? Why you talk nasty to me? She said, well, I'm going to let you know that I love all my grandchildren and all my children. That doesn't mean I like them. Some grandchildren I don't even stand and like. And you one of them. I don't like you. So you meant to tell me what you trying to say. I'm saying I don't like Jaden. I don't like my granddaughter. I don't like her. And she said, what did I do to you? What's going on? What did I do? And Iyanla said, why you think you did something? It's not on you. Don't take that on you. It's not on you. That's her demon she got to work on. And Iyanla look at Miss Dorothy. She said, I will roll my eyes out and take my eyes out from a grandma where it would say to her granddaughter or grandchildren that you don't like them. We got something to do with there. And that's how the ending. That's to be continued. I said, oh boy, it will be more. It was a good ending and a good ending right there to give us something to think about, to come forward. But that was Iyanla Fix My Life, y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Tell me how y'all felt about this episode. And I'll talk to y'all later, alright?